Hello, welcome to Couples Uncensored, a special single edition of it. What a joy to be here this morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching from. So, this one is dedicated to the singles, especially, and I believe you're all sat with your popcorn and your drink watching this. It's going to be one blessing of a ride to you. So, we're discussing When Love Hurts, and this is a true life story of betrayal, pain, and blooming again. Trust me, you are in for a very, very impactful time. So, once again, relax, fasten your seat belts and, just join the conversation. If you have questions, you can please leave it in the comment section and we will be glad, or I will be glad to take you on after, this time. So welcome everybody. So excited to have my guest here, Murewa. Good to have you. Thank you for agreeing to do this. Thank you for doing this for posterity, for generations, years unborn, and for, generational next marriages generally. God bless you. All right. So before we go further, please help me do three things quickly. Kindly click on the subscribe button, okay? Turn on your notifications. That's number 2. After clicking on the button, so that you can, get more people to see this video. Share, number 3. Share to your friends. Share on your stories, your statuses, and let's get more people streaming this right about now. Okay, so God bless you, everyone. Let's go ahead and do that. Subscribe, click the red button. You'll see it somewhere on the video there. Go ahead and turn on your notifications because there's more coming from this channel after this time out. And then share, get more people. So, again, welcome to Couples Uncensored. And Couples Uncensored is a single and married platform that's been running for 10 years. And basically what we do here is to help singles make informed decision about the institution of marriage while also helping the married to build blissful, model, thriving marriages, all via faith-based, time-tested principles and also 21st century compliant counseling tools. All right, so that's what we do here, and we've been doing this for the past 10 years. We celebrated 10 years in June. Okay, I don't have my tambourine. I will have celebrated, yay. And we took a break for a bit as it became clearer that, God would have us pivot into something more powerful, like we're about to do, much more authentic. Everything we've done on CU has always been authentic, or than we've ever done. So this is a singles edition, especially for singles, right? And the married too are welcome, so that you teach the singles around you, your younger ones, this would help them a great deal. Okay? So yesterday was my birthday, or November 15th was my birthday.
Yay. Happy birthday.
Thank you. And all of these are efforts I'm galvanizing towards ensuring that more singles are making more informed decisions and we're having less catastrophic marriages everywhere. All right. I wrote 2 books also to commemorate my birthday, Single and Equipped, and then Code Red, Code Green. And this is the 3rd thing I'm doing in commemoration of my birthday, but they're all geared towards helping singles make better marital decisions, so that we stop having all the horror stories we have all around. So let's get right into it. Welcome, Moira. Thank you for agreeing to do this.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you for
So
having
what
me.
we'll be doing, well, this is an attempt to x-ray this book in my hand, titled No Excuse is Good Enough. All right, it's being written here by my guest Omolayo Murewa. All right, and why did I decide to do this? Why was this so strong in my heart to put together? One, the Lord impressed it upon my heart, as I read the book, that look, you can't just stop at reading this. You have to do something with this information. This information has to get to more singles, thousands of singles, so that we have more people avoiding some of the disasters, that was encountered in this book, right? Number 2, the sheer magnitude of lessons I picked being a marriage and relationship coach was too much for me to ignore, and I needed to do something about it. And I reached out to her, and there was a witness in her spirit too that, look, this needed to go out of just being on the pages of a book, right? We needed to dissect the issues and help more people. So I mean, you're welcome. I encourage you, to sit back and ensure that you sip in every bit of this broadcast. If possible, if you're a single person, please get a pen and a paper, or your phone notepad, and jot down as much points as possible. And what's better than that? Save it and come back to rewatch. God bless you. So, Moira, let's get right into this.
All right, Ma.
And then I will acknowledge, and I would encourage you. I know that after this, some of you will be curious enough to go and look for this book. You got to look for it. I'm just going to skim through it. It's called No Excuses is Good Enough by my very delectable guest here. All right. So I'll take it chapter by chapter so that we can really drill down the issues. Okay.
Okay.
So Mura, chapter 1. I read through chapter 1 and it was talking basically about you took us through your polygamous family background. And trust me, even as a counselor, as I read through, I'm telling you, the more I read, the more confused I was. It was such a complicated family tree, right? And I'm like, if I'm this confused, just reading an account of how the polygamous was polygamous. How was it for the person who was actually, in the
In the
polygamous
family.
setting? So over to you, Miriwa. My question is, tell us what it felt like growing up in a polygamous setting. Was it confusing? Was it fun? Did you feel conflicted as a child growing up in a polygamous setting?
Okay. So let me start by saying, well, because my mom was like, she's a peace-loving person, so she made it a bit easier for us because she was like the mother of the house. She took care of everyone like her own. So I'll say that our polygamous, at least when I hear about other polygamous settings, I know that
Was
ours was
far better.
better.
Because your mom shielded you.
Yes, she did shielded.
But it didn't remove from the fact
No,
that
it
it
did
had
not.
its own
It did
ups
not.
and
It had a lot of downs too, and it had ups too. At least
Yeah.
the
Would you say the
I'll-
ups outweighed the downs, or
no,
the
the downs. If I'm
outweighed?
going to even tell you the ups, you will say I'm not serious. Because one of the ups was it was a comedy relief
Oh, Fuji
part.
House of Commotion.
You get
Or
that.
comedy.
So anytime, that was one of my best sitcoms when I was growing up. And it was
Okay, so
because
you could
it,
relate
yes,
with
it,
the
it
whole
had a lot of us in
similarities
it.
and all of
And I
that.
used to joke with my siblings that we should have our
Our
own
own.
sitcom too and everything. So
Amazing.
it's also it has effects on children, to be
Yes.
sincere, because there's always that troubles at times when the wives are fighting, when you notice that, yes, maybe the man of the house, that's the father, he prefers one wife to the other.
Did you witness any of that?
Yes.
How
Eh,
did that impact on the children? I want us to talk about the impact of
So-
polygamy on children.
like for me, that was one of the reasons why I decided to leave home on time. I left home as early as I think I was 18 when I left home, and I stopped staying. Okay, I was coming in as maybe come for holidays and everything. I had excuses to live outside the home because it was too toxic for me.
Your mental health.
Yes, my mental health was really affected, especially when my mom was the part that was really receiving there's always that person receiving the negative part and the one receiving the positive part. And she kept, when you know that someone is going through a lot and she keeps telling you, oh, don't worry, everything is
You
fine.
could see how,
And
taking it in, but you knew it wasn't.
I didn't have that strength. My siblings had it. They could manage
Withstand
that,
it.
but I could not because I was so close to my mom. So
Couldn't bear to
I
see her.
couldn't bear to see her go through that, and she tells me that it is all right. So it was one of the things that got me out of the house on time.
Okay. It might look like I'm running ahead, but would you say that that's one of the reasons why some people get into marriage when they're not supposed to? They want to escape, some things at home. And so if they see like, oh, maybe I should quickly get married, at least that's like a salvation from home. Would you think
Yes,
that is
some
a
people
factor?
actually, yes,
that affects-
yes, it happens to some people because of course you are looking for somewhere to run to.
True.
You are looking for somewhere to run to.
Just
So
anywhere.
yes. So when you know that's where you are, it's not it, and that's the only
Option you have
option you have to get out to be free.
Free.
So
So for some
you
people,
just
they
stay.
get married because that's the only
Yes,
option.
yes.
They want to escape
At least I know of
a
2 or
lesser
3
evil.
people that have done that.
Wow.
Yes.
And how did that end up?
Well, they are still on it.
Okay. Okay. I'll come back to that. So, in your honest estimation, as someone who grew up, would you recommend that a believer goes through that route of polygamy? Because I know
want-
there are still believers that believe that's You can't just be eating pop for the rest of your life. You must eat mango, you understand?
I
You want to
won't.
test
I
around.
won't, because at a point I knew that even my father saw that he had made a mistake.
Oh, he was tired.
Yes, he started getting tired because, of course, how do you want to manage two women
So
or and
how many children were at the house at any point in time, at any given point in time?
okay, so the list of us in that list of us in that house, because some always go to school and come back, but the list was, I think we were up to 7
Okay.
that usually stay home,
Okay.
and from different mothers, of course. Then when the other ones comes, especially during holidays and festive periods, the house is always
As
jam
much as how
packed.
many people?
As much as, well, let's say 11, because 2 of my mom's kids didn't really stay with us. It was just once in a while they came.
Okay. Okay, I just needed you to run us through because me, I read and as learned as, or at least I went to school for God's sake, but that family tree was complicated.
No, that one was really
I
complicated.
read once, I read to Imoni Emiko will get the family
You know,
tree.
it was because my mom also had
Yeah.
a marriage before she
Before-
came in.
but
My
you-
dad had a
Kudos to you, you
marriage.
did a good job trying to draw the family tree. Just that me, I could not comprehend
You
it.
know, because you just have to.
Okay, so let's move on to chapter 2. You ran us through your early education. You spoke about how your dad was quite critical of you and he labeled you a failure because he felt you were not meeting up, to his expectations and his dream of becoming a medical doctor. Let me try and picture you with a stethoscope and daddy should rest, Daddy. Should let everybody know what he wants to be, But you made a case for him, and I quote, though his words stung, I believe they came from a place of disappointment rather than hatred. You also claimed, and felt that his disposition was part of what fueled you, to prove him wrong by becoming independent. And you spoke a bit about it. You left home early on time. That was part of it, to become independent to the point of, funding your own OND and BSc education. Now, I want you to tell us that, beyond his disposition spurring you on, to prove him wrong and making something out of your life by your own self, with the benefit of hindsight, did that rejection shape you in any way that you would have wished it didn't shape you?
Yes, it did. It did.
Could you share a bit?
Okay, so like I wrote in my book, he wanted me to be a medical doctor. Meanwhile, my childhood dream had always been to be a lawyer or a
Did
journalist.
he at any point ask you what you wanted to become?
I told him that I was. He asked. There was a time we had that conversation, and I told him that I wanted to go to art class because I wanted to be a lawyer or a journalist. So he told me that no child of his can do that. That he wanted me to go to science class, and if that is what I want to do, fine. But
More or
he
less
could
like you
not
don't have
he
my
could
support
not pay he could not pay my school fees for a
for choosing
private
another
school.
course.
And I really wanted to go to a private school.
Okay.
So that was like the emotional blackmail he used.
Oh.
All my friends, because the
Could he
primary
afford to send you?
yes, he could.
Oh, so
He
just
could.
because you didn't do his
But he
own
said
course of
he
study
could not spend that much on an art student
of an art course.
for arts course. So that was one of the things that made me just say that okay, because he gave me, well, maybe I thought he gave me a choice. He said it was either you do your arts and go to the public school, or you do the science and go to the private school.
University.
And I
So-
wanted to. No, it was even in secondary school. We are talking about senior secondary school now.
Oh, okay.
So, but I really wanted to go to the private school because all my friends also were going to that school. I would have been left out.
Did that make you feel a certain way?
Yes, but
Okay. So that means you ended up not going to a private secondary school?
I went to a private because I did the science.
Oh.
I actually
Oh,
did
you
the
did the science
science.
at the
Yes,
secondary
I
school
did. I
level.
did science. So I did physics.
So
I
let's
did
say he
chemistry.
twisted you into doing that.
Hey, he did. And
But when you got to the university
physics,
level,
chemistry. No, physics, chemistry. They decided that this girl, F9, as in F9 was always the
Okay,
the
so
least.
that was part of the
So that was
disappointment
why
that you're
he
still
was
not meeting up.
disappointed.
Okay. Interesting. Now, because this is holistic, it's family life beyond just singles and getting married. I want you to, with the benefit of hindsight, would you love to share with parents who might be watching this? And every one of us are still going to be parents. So because when I talk, I love to talk from the futuristic angle. Yes, some of you are single now, but you're going to be parents. You don't want to do to your own children what some of our parents did to us. Because if you are not careful, you can abuse them and insult them. If you are not careful and intentional, you will end up perpetrating that same pattern. Except you tell yourself, no, this fight has come with me. My own children, nobody's going to do that, with them. So I want you to share with parents and aspiring parents, everyone who ever hopes to become a parent, how one, negative words can shape a child, and then to a better route through which they can express their, convey their disappointments, even when they are, disappointed, in a more constructive way.
Okay. So the first thing I will say to parents is your words matter a lot to children, because you are like their superheroes. So whatever you say they are, sometimes they believe that that is what they are. So you calling your child a failure. My father called me a failure, and for a while, for a period of time,
You actually
I
believe
felt
that?
like I was a failure.
Wow.
I actually felt that. So our words matters a lot, what we say to our kids. Even when people now tell them you are not outside, they don't believe them because you are their superhero. It's good to be disciplined as a parent. Yes, we know you want to show them that you are disciplined. You don't want them to be loose. But you also have to check that you are emotionally connected to your child. And how can you be like that? You have to be close to them. You have to listen to them. I'll be sincere. Most parents nowadays are doing a good job with
Yeah,
that.
doing better.
Yes, we are actually doing better. We listen. Those days, children cannot.
Don't have a say.
I can't remember any time I had a say over anything, or anytime I could even go and meet my father or my mother that this is what I wanted. Okay, with my mother, I was a bit close to her, so once in a while I could do that. But with my father, no.
Okay, maybe we should address the fathers at this point. But like you said, I think much more men are becoming aware.
Yes, they
They're
are.
exposed to information, and they're actually doing better. As strict as my dad was, I noticed that by the time I got to teenage years, my daddy was strict too. They don't know you well. Man come and look at you as how? Oh, you want to go somewhere? I saw that by himself, he started negotiating. If you come into my house later than 7 p.m., but before, it's a no-go area. So, address fathers.
So for fathers, especially to your girls, it matters a lot when you are close to them, because I never had any close relationship with a man that is, as in, like like a father figure.
affirmed
Yes,
you.
that affirmed me. So sometimes it could also tell when they
Want to make
want
choices.
to make choices with their marriage and everything.
And we're
because
getting into that right about now, because
Yes.
reading the book further that I saw how this played a role in the choices my dear sister made. So let's go to chapter 3 of that book. Make sure you get the book. No excuse is good enough. We're only going to skim through things here, but you need to read this book yourself. All right. So chapter 3. Now we're getting to the meat of today's podcast. The apropos reason why some of you decided to come to this podcast. We're getting there. All right. So singles, hold fast your seatbelt, and it's time to take a deep dive right now. So now this chapter, talks about your dating life and relationship. You took us through your past dating relationships and what caused the end. You dated the Yoruba guy first. I can't remember what caused that. What brought that to an end?
Okay, the first Yoruba
quickly,
guy that
yeah.
I dated, okay, it was because he was too busy with work.
Okay, yeah. Now I remember.
He was
He never really
actually,
had the time
yes,
for you.
and I wanted that attention also. I
Attention.
didn't
So
want.
the relationship
Yeah.
fizzled out.
He was a workaholic actually.
Was it long distance, or you were in the same city?
No, we were in the same city, but it was,
was married to his work.
Yes. So sometimes we'll say we are going on a date, and he's with his laptop.
It's okay.
So the major thing is you want to eat, enjoy yourself, spend,
Wow,
but
what a wow.
I'm working, so it didn't gel with me at all.
It can't even gel with me as well. Like, I don't understand. Am I a table? I'm a shit. Let's leave this guy alone. Okay, so he, after him, the next two guys were Igbo guys, right?
Yes.
And then the central and major reason why you didn't, these two didn't fly as well, was because your dad,
My dad.
disapproved, and based on cultural differences.
Yes.
Right. So let's read from page 14. While I respected the fact that you obeyed your dad or allowed him have his way, now with the benefit of hindsight, I want to ask that would you have insisted on your choice? Well, because I read I didn't hear you say any bad thing about those guys. Ori culture, is Igbo, and while growing up, I also know that I had an aunt that swore that none of our child, even we that were not our direct children, Emma be kobo kobo while and in my head I'm like, which one is kobo kobo? What do you mean by kobo kobo? You see that civil war, it didn't do good amongst the Igbos and Yoruba, and I don't understand it. But I think, like we keep saying, it's getting better by the generation.
Yes, it
I'm seeing more
is.
intertribal marriages that is
Yes.
working. I've seen 15 years intertribal marriage and it's working, right? So, but with the benefit of hindsight, do you think that you would have insisted, you should have insisted on your choice of marrying either of the two guys till your dad gave in?
Yes, I think so, because those guys, they were, like you said, there was nothing wrong with them. We didn't have any issues. I was even the one that broke up with them, and it was just because
You know,
my
ultimately your
dad,
dad will frustrate
he
it.
kept saying, like the second one, the day I took him home as a friend. I didn't even introduce. Only my mom knew that I was dating him. And the thing, my dad called my mom in and said, "Go and tell your daughter that if that is the guy she wants to marry, just tell her that it's a no. I have said that none of my daughters is getting married to a non-Yoruba."
So did any of your siblings have, or, you know, even after his death, get married to a non-indigene?
None.
Wow.
My sister was my older sister was very close to, as in, they were engaged actually, but the moment she brought him home, it was even Edo, it was at least closer to Yoruba.
He still didn't see it.
He walked in, as in, immediately she told him, "Where are you from?" "I'm from Edo." And he just went in. And he called my sister and said, "You are not getting married." And she had to break up. Just
Because
that.
my fear is, what if this is the person's bone of their bones, and because my father said no, you wrote something there, let me just say, he said, while it is important to respect your family's values, it is equally important to evaluate whether those values align with your own beliefs
Yes.
and desires. Love should not be confined by cultural boundaries, but it's also essential to navigate these differences with wisdom and understanding.
Yes.
Right? What struck me in that chapter was the fact that such biases has led to authentic,
Yes.
marriages that could have been,
Yes.
breaking up, and then they now go ahead and the same culture, they marry those ones, and then
And
it breaks up.
yes.
So somewhere along the line, you begin to think that when those children wonder, what of this Chinedu guy? Now I'm the Yoruba guy, I'm suffering. Just what if my dad had allowed me? Do you want to speak to that?
Yes, because I remembered when I started having issues in my marriage, one of the things I said was, it pained me that this man died and did not see this, because I married a so-called Yoruba and I am not.
And it still
It
didn't
didn't
work out.
work out that. So it does, because I'm sure my siblings, they might have had people also, but everybody was just positioned as in, this is what daddy wants.
So you
And
told
so
your
it's had
life,
one of the things you look out for, even when you see a good guy and
you
everything.
pass him over
The
because
moment you
he's
say that you are not Yoruba, sorry, I can't, and you just miss. I'm not saying that they are not in good marriages right now. They are in good marriages, and I'm not saying that it's not a good thing, but I think parents should look beyond
not cultural.
cultural things, and let us look for how compatible are they. Do they share the same values? There are other things that you should
Okay,
look
and
into.
just in addition to that, if you're a parent watching, and every one of us, you're still going to be parents, even if you're single now, can we respect the fact that, God gave birth to every individual? They have their preferences, they have their choices. The fact that I'm your daughter doesn't mean I might hold the same values as you hold, or I might not even hold the same values that I can imagine somebody whose dad is an armed robber. His values are completely, and she somewhere along the line finds Jesus. Her values are not going to be her daddy's
Sure.
values. Her daddy might endorse how do I say, a Yahoo cash throwing guy all about, and she will favor somebody that might not have as much cash, not that is poor, but is godly, has more. We
Yes.
must, as parents, now this is me addressing parents, we must understand that every individual God has given you, you are to mold them according to the will of God for their lives. And it speaks of the fact that for every child you have, you must know what God's will is for that child. So that Bible calls us warriors, and that the children are arrows in our hands. So your job as a warrior is to fine tune that arrow before you shoot that arrow, and propel it to where God wants they are, not where you want to. Because another thing I see is that parents are trying to live their dreams that they didn't
Yes,
accomplish through their
yes,
children. And that's
yes.
recipe for disaster. I'm not going to mention him, but we have one now that's been troubling the whole internet for weeks now. Nobody has heard word. It's one of the things that are happening. I think parents should,
And let me make you just laugh a bit.
yeah.
My dad actually married his last one, my mom and the other wife. They are not Yorubas.
Can you imagine?
My mom is from Akwa Ibom. The last
Now, that is
wife.
what you call an unjust weight. That's an
But
unjust
I
weight.
think I asked that question. There was a
Did you
time
ask
I
him?
asked. Yes, there was a time I asked
If you were both to ask him that
randomly.
question, why weren't you bold to put your foot down?
So the thing is, I can be bold at times, but my boldness always gets me
limits.
into trouble.
Eh.
Yes, but sometimes I just want to.
Okay. So lastly on this chapter, you spoke about navigating these differences with wisdom and understanding. What do you mean by that? What does that mean to the parents, and what does that mean to the couple who are coming to meet a particular parent, either the boy's parents and they are meeting opposition? What does it mean to navigate with wisdom and understanding?
Especially to the couples that's the kids. Why I said wisdom and understanding is because you still need that parental blessings.
Approval and blessing. I agree.
So you have to apply wisdom. You have to be able to pray and pray that they should accept. There's a way God comes through for stuff like that, but you shouldn't do it that I'm going, this is what
And
they
elope,
said, and I'm going nothing, whatever, and everything, because at the end, you don't know what could happen also. And for the parents too, with wisdom, look at it. There are times that maybe there's actually something they are seeing that child is not seeing. But there's a wisdom also that you can also use to communicate, not just say, this is how it is and this is how I want it.
Okay. Is this still on? Yeah. So we're still on chapter 3. To the parents, let me just add this one more thing. Please don't use your parental fiat as an emotional blackmail over your children. It's not right. Knowing fully well that every child desires that their parents' blessings, because a lot of parents weaponize that. Instead, like she has said, I think you look for ways where you can speak to your own daughter, your son, say these and these are the things we see. Now, a Yoruba adage says, what an elder sees sitting down like this, you, the child, will not see standing up. We can come, if you can use emotional blackmail, you can also use emotions to speak to your child, in an emotionally intelligent way, where that child can go back and, see things from your lens. And sometimes, maybe it shouldn't be an outright no, maybe there should be a midway, meet us halfway, somewhat. So moving on to your ex-husband and the failed marriage. This is one thing you said. I'm in page 15. You said your ex was like anyone you had ever met. He was born again Christian who took his faith seriously. His commitment to God was evident in everything he did. He was a Jesus boy involved in church activities, and his nickname was Jesus Boy. That spoke volumes about his dedication. Ade was that kind of person that would carry his Bible everywhere. You're too serious. Are we talking about electronic Bible or physical Bible?
Now he had the word of God as in.
Oh, okay. Walking Bible. Oh,
Yes.
Walking Bible. And his knowledge of the scripture was impressive.
Yeah.
He lived his life with a sense of purpose and integrity those are all very, very fantastic qualities. Now, what struck me on this page is for the first time I prayed about a relationship, I thought I received a go ahead. So, thought and go ahead, I thought I received a go ahead, and even you put the go ahead in inverted commas.
Yes.
Now, with the benefit of hindsight, because this is the crux of where we're going, and from this point on, we're soaring. With the benefit of hindsight, how many years is it now? Post?
8 years, going to 8 years.
8 years. Do you still believe sincerely that you heard from God? Or like you wrote in your book, it was a case of you thought you heard from God?
I don't think I heard from God.
What informs that
And
now?
why I'll say that, there's something I learned now. So you can't expect God to speak to you over one issue when he doesn't speak to you at all.
Ooh, so good. So
So
good. I wish I had my
it's-
tambourine here. So
It wasn't like he has spoken to me
you
like
had a
that
track record of
before,
how he speaks to
you know.
you.
So why was it now the marriage own that I felt? And
Bearing in mind that you already had checked.
exactly.
You already been bowled over by this person.
So it was a program I went for, and the pastor spoke at that program, and I think he just said, "There's something that you're about to go into, and that's the right thing." And
Way.
immediately I said, "Yes, this is for me." But this never came when I was going to choose my school. It never came when I was going to choose my job or choose any or
Or
make
did you even
any
bother to
major
ask if there
decision.
were other things too that you were praying for
Exactly.
around
So
that
you
time?
must have. I understand better now,
Now,
and why I have a pattern of I know when God speaks.
I need to come in at this point. Singles, listen, I didn't even have that in my notes. She touched on something really critical. Look, if you don't have a pattern of hearing God over different issues that is consistent with you, it cannot be on
Cannot
the
be
issue of I want to
marriage.
marry
Yes.
that you now be testing hearing God. Marriage is too deep, too far a journey for that to be the first time you want to test the waters on whether you're hearing God about the choice of a spouse. And then I think that is so profound. The other person you confirmed from, according to you, was your elder sister.
Yes.
Pray tell me, what did your elder sister say before she confirmed?
So that used to be my very close friend.
Oh,
So the day I was going to meet with him for the first time, that was the day I went to the church. Then the pastor spoke that. Then I got to my sister's place, and I was like, I don't think I want to go to this guy's place, because then I was really scared of going into any other relationship and everything. And she was like, do you know this could even be your husband? She said some things, and it was now resonating with what I just heard from church, and I was like, oh, this must be confirmation.
okay. All right. So please speak to the singles that will listen to this now and later. With the benefit of hindsight and experience, what other ways do you think a single brother or sister, can double check their options and their decisions as it pertains to the choice of a life partner?
So first I'll say, like I said before, if this is not the pattern you have in here, if you don't have a pattern with hearing God, don't
Marriage is not the
don't
place to
start
test
with
from.
marriage.
Absolutely.
Don't start with marriage.
Singles, sure na the year.
That's
The year
the
word.
first. Then aside that, you should be able to speak to, I don't, there's no how you won't have a spiritual father or mother. You go to church, you have your pastor, speak to them when you are not sure of things, because I noticed, especially recently, singles, there are a lot of secret relationships. And it's either the guy is telling you that I don't want anybody to know
Yeah,
yet,
that's
or the
a
lady is
walking
like,
Red
what
Sea.
if you decide not to marry me? I don't want people to know, and because of that, you guys are making it secrets, and that can also lead to
In fact,
something
it's a
so
walking Red Sea, like I'll say. That is no longer a red flag. Anything that is secrecy, expose it. If it breaks up, it's not the end of the world. So anybody that tells you don't let us make it secret on a low key, auntie, go and do your research. There is something, or uncle, is very, very wrong somewhere. So I think the key critical takeaway is what she even touched on before I asked the question. There must be a consistent pattern through which God speaks to you, that nothing. This is how God speaks to me. This is how he tells me that this is him. Please, it is not on account of marriage. Then she spoke, and I want to come in because I'm also a clergy. I'm a pastor. So here's what I'll say. You see, that hearing God, I think, is a foundation already for you as a single. Have a relationship with God. Know how God speaks. Learn to hear the voice of God, because sometimes, I speak respectfully as one who is a member of the clergy. Your pastor self can derail you.
true.
I speak respectfully as a clergy. Your pastor can derail you. If it's not that he took the time, he might have his guys or his girls that he wants to pair people with. At some point, sometimes pastors they're not hearing anything. They just feel, this is my daughter here, 2 gave 4. And he's getting 4 on the earth, but he's not getting 4 in the heavens. And for the believer, it is on earth as it is in heaven. Not in heaven as it is you have, collaborated yourself on the earth. It's very important. So because if you hear the voice of God, even if any other person, your parents, your pastors are saying something contradictory, and you go back to God and God is saying, Sure, you can
This
see
is still,
say gobe.
yes.
So you must, because you're going to live with the choices, the consequences of your choices. Even if it's your pastor that said go and marry, if you say your sister, today did you come and blame your sister? You were Lara one?
At
No, I
all.
mean it's your
At all.
decision and you bear the consequences. Moving forward, something struck me in page 16. Ade's faith was a cornerstone of our relationship. Asao, my sister. Cornerstone. When it's not the corner piece of your building, it's the cement that holds your life together. It's the pillar that holds your life. Koyemi. Because I'm a marriage and relationship, so I just flagged it. Like Asao, Ade's faith was a cornerstone of our relationship. He prayed for us regularly and encouraged us to deepen my relationship with God. He committed to living a life that honored God. Beautiful things. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
about that. But two things were off from the point, from the perspective of a marriage coach and counselor. And here's it: the cornerstone of your relationship. Stop, please. Nobody's the cornerstone of your life. Build your own relationship. You can encourage you, but his own faith must not be what you are
Yes,
raising.
yes.
Because both of you will need to deploy faith. I'm 18 years married, guys. There are days that you must have your own faith. That is your husband's faith that is failing, and it's your own that will rise up. What the Bible says is two are better than one. So that when one falls down, the other one is able to raise him up. But when one falls down, the other one that was the pillar of the the one that fell down was the pillar of your own faith. You all are finished. So everybody must have their own faith, all right? So yeah, then
So let me quickly say
Okay, please
something
go ahead.
about that. So what I would just say is that, like you rightly said, you must have a relationship with God. Because I think I had a relationship, as in I was a born again Christian, but my faith was not well mentored. I didn't, as in I wasn't, I didn't get enough mentoring. I didn't know much about the faith, despite the fact. So it was very interesting when you now met a man that he knew everything, and you just felt that, oh yes, this person, so whatever he says, to the extent that I never even believed that nobody can tell me that he lied about anything and I'll believe, because it was like that was my own working Bible. Anytime I have any issues with with the
that
word,
was our
he is
own
the
walking
one.
Bible. Meanwhile,
Yes.
men and brethren, we all have a Bible to refer to.
Yes. Yes.
Nobody's your walking Bible.
At
Please
all.
go find the scriptures yourself. Okay, so I did a comparative analysis between the two Igbo guys and him, and I found out that not for once, did you say anything religious about the two Igbo guys. They had fantastic qualities, but they didn't have any religious CV like this guy did. So I kind of felt like you got carried away with his
Yes.
with his religious CV.
He was the Jesus boy.
The Jesus boy and all of that. Now, from the book, he also said he was patient and kind, and he's unwavering in his belief. And those were qualities that made you feel safe and cherished. Singles, I need you to listen up at this point. That's why I ran you through from her background, her education, and I think we've already touched that, but I need to go deeper at this point. Remember, Daddy wasn't particularly a safe and understanding space. Now, she met this person who had all the Jesus qualities and then made her feel safe and cherished. What happened with her ex is he came in to fill a void that was a daddy issue for her. Do you understand? Nothing wrong with two Igbo guys. They were fantastic, but they didn't have that Jesus CV around them. Now he was also kind and all of that. They now added the Jesus CV. Remember, she didn't grow up with a father that filled or could fill that void, of being a safe, and a cherished space. Now, I'm talking about this because a lot of women also fall into that
Yes.
ditch, right? So they feel like a man is coming, and if he's a predator, for lack of a better expression, he already sees that void, that this girl had daddy issues. He's willing to, and a man will do whatever he needs to do to get a woman. He needs to fill that void, and a lot of single young ladies mistake that for traits. Okay, so I need you as a woman to be, like she said, be self-aware enough, even if that's the issue, for you to know that, I get daddy issues. I missed that, growing up. It will help you when guys come, so that you don't get easily swayed away that, you might be feeling a void that is, that's something I'm carrying, but it doesn't necessarily mean, that you are that person. All right. So this is how I want us to wrap up this chapter. So he virtually filled up that gap. With the benefit of hindsight, do you think I'm right? Judging the matter, he filled that space, and was one of the convincing reasons why you finally went for him.
Yes. To some extent,
To
yes.
some extent. Okay. The last thing I saw in what you wrote, 5 months into our relationship, Ade proposed. Sister. My God, my God. How old were you then?
I was 29,
Okay.
28, 29.
We're going to talk about pressures. Did you feel pressured? Did you feel time was
Yes.
running out?
Yes, I actually,
Because,
because most of my friends were getting, they were already married. So,
hey, come, be a sister, come. Those of you looking at me. I don't care who is getting married. I don't care who is not getting married. Their life is not your life. Their destiny is not your destiny. Their destiny is not, they can do it and get away with it. You can do it. You know those
yeah.
people that Jesus has special interest in them. Everybody is sleeping around. They know they're not supposed to. The day they try their own, they will get pregnant. Meanwhile, those other
Yeah.
ones will get away. You see, your life is not their life. Because when I read that, it was a red flag. 5 months into our relationship, her ex proposed. She was overjoyed and eager to start our life together. We began planning and dreaming of the future. Little did I know the challenges that lay ahead would test me in ways I never imagined. 5 years, no, 5 months
5 months.
in a relationship is not long enough for you to start planning wedding. Trust me. Time is a revealer of actions and character. 5 months is too short for you to know. We recommend at least a year. Some of una still no go gree, but we go talk am. We recommend a year. 12 months is not too long for anybody to wait. My question is, what was the rush all about? I think she pinpointed it. Pressure from friends.
Yeah.
Was it pressure from him or that was it?
No.
So it was you even
Yes, it
feeling
was
internal
actually
pressure.
me.
Great. So I mean, that was it. Now, let us leave this chapter alone. But I needed to address that. The least time you should be in a relationship is 1 year. You won't die. Anybody pressurizing, you need to start asking questions. Why the hurry? Why the this? Why the that? Okay, so advice to readers, which is what you wrote. I said, what to watch out for in a partner. Looking back, I realized there were signs I overlooked. I love it when a person is able to own up. I'm that kind of person that owns up to my shit and deals with it. So she said, I realized there were signs I overlooked, lessons I learned the hard way. We're doing this so that you won't learn any lesson the hard way. You won't overlook any red flags. And like I call them, some of them don't go beyond red flags. They bloody Red Sea. And you will still enter and drown in it. Okay? So here's what I wish I'd known before entering into a serious relationship. This is me reading her words. So over to her. I'm not going to do that. She listed like 6 things. So take them one after the other and shop and shop.
Okay, so I said shared values
We
matters.
should face them. They need to.
So shared values matters. It's beyond physical attraction. It's beyond he's a Jesus boy. You still need to have shared values. You still need to have values that are the same, as in we you must, first of all, you must, even both of you must be born again, as in, and not just he saying born again. You know that, yes, when, of course, when you are a born again Christian, you know another person that, yes, this person is really spirit filled or not, and it matters a lot.
So what were
Let
one
me
or
just
two
say.
shared values that you think you didn't look out for that was in there? With the benefit of
So,
hindsight. Short.
Okay, so for him, I'll say that he was someone that he wasn't a family oriented person. And I was, as in, he wasn't really close to his family members, but I was so close to. So he got to a stage, he was always complaining that you're so close to your sisters. I don't like it. I saw that, but I didn't know. And it's actually affected during the marriage, because that was one of the reasons why I never spoke up to my siblings and everything, because he didn't believe in you talking to anybody. So that was one of it.
Okay, let's go to the other so we'll move on fast.
So don't ignore red flags. Yes, there are a lot of red flags that you see already, and
You said if something feels off, do not brush it aside.
don't brush it.
Whether it's lack of time or resolve conflicts.
There were a lot of red flags I saw.
But you brushed it off.
I did.
Why did you think you did?
Like I said, number one, I just
gave yourself
want
pressure.
to, yes, I gave myself unnecessary pressure. I wanted to get married. Then number two, I felt safe that this is, what if I don't meet someone as
scarcity mindset.
this kind of God fearing and it was like in my book also, I wrote there that I wasn't a virgin, and I met him. He said he was a virgin and all those
He
stuff
said,
and everything.
so you not confirm.
How do I confirm?
God bless you, my sister.
Communication is key.
Very key.
Yes, that one, we all know what that is. You need to communicate. You need to be able to ask yourself questions. There are a lot of questions that you have, but you're afraid that, okay, if I ask this, won't it
Let me
become
come
something?
in. I will still trace that to how you grew up. You're not used to challenging
Yes,
the
I'm
status
not.
quo.
I'm not.
See, guys, these things are deep. And parents, every one of us, we're going to be parents to be. These things that the trauma we cause our children, they run deep. I saw that trait all through the book. She wasn't used to standing up to a man, either respectfully or defiantly. No one to even say, can we look at it this way? And it showed all throughout this marriage. So it's very, very, very key.
Yes.
All right, so you talk about not
Then
rush.
don't rush into
we
commitments.
spoke
That
about
one
that,
we
all of
already
it.
spoke about it. Then be true to yourself. Never compromise, like we said. Don't compromise your values. Don't compromise boundaries. You should be true to yourself in everything. A partner who truly loves you, he will respect you no matter what. So then I said, pray and seek guidance. Like we've said in many of the things we've spoken about, you need to be sure that you heard God rightly. You
Okay.
need to know how to hear God.
There you have it, single people. Still a lot to cover, but I mean, I trust that we might even need to break all of you. I'm not going to give you this in one but we'll trust. So let's go to chapter 4. You can see how I took it from the beginning so that you can understand where my guest is coming from. You can understand how the things, how we're raised. The people that raised us, they have a big thing
Yes.
to do with how we are shaped and how we are wired ultimately. The background you grew up from, the kind of parents, they shape you ultimately for life. And that speaks to parents. All of us are going to be parents, even those of you that are single. You must be so intentional to know that how, where, what, the environment our children grow up is going to almost be with them for life. So you want to be intentional about how you are curating. I think that's the word. Parents need to learn to curate
Yes.
an experience for their children growing up. Even those of us that even have like teenage kids now, sometimes I ask myself, am I doing enough? Like, God, 5 years, 10 years down, if Ogolo is going to play this back, how? We must always, parenting really never ends. At least being 18 years married and having a 17-year-old as the first child, I know that parenting never ends. But you don't want to be seeing the result of your mistakes and your lack of intentionality when they are 25, when they are 30, when they are 45, because you will see it. Life will always show you your report cards.
Sure.
All right, so chapter 4, the wedding that was not mine. What a caption. The wedding that was not mine. She attended the wedding that was not mine, but it was hers. All right, so my wedding day was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Bam! I've been looking for opportunity to address this statement. Excuse me. Will you still say, with the benefit of hindsight, that a woman's wedding day is the happiest day of her life?
No.
Let's go there.
No, it's not. But it could be one of the happy days. Let me not put happiest. But so it's what I was trying to say then.
That child modify it. Don't lay like that. Thank you.
The
But you
happiest
agree,
day.
right? It should
No,
not be the
no. It
happiest,
should
one
not
of
be the happiest.
Okay, let me touch on it. So growing up, even as a child, I used to hear that and it's women. What's wrong with us? I need to understand what's wrong with us. I have nothing against wedding day or being a happy day, but don't tag it as the happiest day of your life. It should be one of the happiest days of your life. See, words are powerful.
Yeah.
So when you say it's the happiest days of your life, sorry, Murewa, the happiest, so-called in bracket, happiest day of your life. In by side, have you done more things that made you more fulfilled, more happy?
Yes.
That achievement. Well, for some people, marriage is an achievement. For some others, it's not. Whichever way you see it, I just want you to know that don't put a bar over your life by saying one day is the happiest day of your life. Do you know what Jesus has in plan for you, even in that marriage, outside of those years? I think, although I think the women we have now, I don't think they have that school of thought. It's my mother's generation, like the happiest day of my life. Hello, ma. It is one of the happiest days of your life. Desire that beyond your wedding, the greater things will happen for you, to
Yes.
you, with that marriage.
And another thing I know about this being the happiest day of your life is it could be the happiest day of your life, but there's still more to come after that day.
No,
So-
if we're going to visit English, no, I refuse. If you say happiest,
Because
it's comparative
no,
and
as in,
superlative.
even what I'm saying now is okay. Like why I said it wasn't is because it wasn't my dream wedding. So you could have your dream wedding, you could have everything perfect for that day, and the marriage could still not be it
Okay.
and everything.
All right. Page 18. Let's go to page 18. From the very beginning, my fiancé made it clear that he did not want to spend much money on the wedding. I understood the need to be practical, but I did not I did not expect to have so little say in the planning. The venue, the food, the cake, all of it was decided without my input. Who does that? Which bride would not have input into her cake, her venue, her food? The only thing my dear sister here got to choose was her wedding dress. And that was only because she paid for it herself. So probably if he was going to pay for it, he would pay something that was not to your taste.
It was supposed to be. He didn't want us to spend much.
I get that.
So he wanted people were the ones contributing, and they now, because they were the ones paying for it. It was what they wanted to do. Like, I remembered the cake, especially the cake. I had what I wanted for the cake, but the woman was like, this is what I am sending. She just sent us a picture. This is what I'm making for your wedding, and he said, well, we'll accept it.
Okay. When I read that, this is what came. I still drilled it down to your background. You're not used to questioning things, negotiating. Women, please listen to me. You have the power of negotiation before marriage. You must learn to negotiate. Parents, that's what you do to your children. When you shut them down, you don't allow them express. So when it comes to important decisions outside of your umbrella, they're going to have issues. This is what exactly also played. Oh yeah, because I found it. I was aghast. Like, the only thing you got to choose was your wedding gown. Like, with the benefit of hindsight now, do you understand the level of awareness and information you have after your wedding tips? Would you have had the courage to walk away? Before I get there, she said, I tried to convince myself that nothing else mattered. I remembered standing in front of the mirror on my wedding day, admiring my dress. I had carefully selected, blah, blah, blah. I tried to convince myself that nothing else mattered. However, deep down, I felt a pang of sadness. This was on the wedding morning, right? Yeah. This was supposed to be my day, but it felt like I was just a guest at someone else's event. I'm going to ask a question, because there's something I always say. With the benefit of hindsight, the exposure, the experience you have now, would you have had the courage to walk away? If you had, on that day, if you had this would you have had the courage to walk away, even knowing fully well that it's like I'm about to enter Gobe?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? Wow. Wouldn't. Why did you think so? Why wouldn't you have had the courage?
Because
I need you to understand. If you were this aware, as you are now, and at that point, you still would have gone ahead?
I think because of what will people...
No, you need to stay true to yourself. Forget my face.
What will people say?
You still will have.
I might still have.
So are you telling me you are still that person too that is largely bothered about what people say?
To some extent.
To some extent. Wow. I love the truth facing session, but would you say that's a good thing?
It's not.
So you admit.
It's not. That was.
So would you say that's something that you need to work on, and you would encourage others to work on?
I know that there's still this fear that I always have. Sometimes when I'm about to take a major decision, I start getting scared about it. That, okay, what if it goes the wrong way?
I think it also played out leading up to this podcast.
Yes, it did.
Okay, we'll have a conversation about that after this time out. But so yeah, you went ahead to say, the traditional Yoruba elements, you enjoyed all of that, but you could not shake the feeling that something was missing right there in the wedding, right? You could not shake the feeling. So I kept wondering, wouldn't it have been okay for you to walk about? Because this is what I tell singles, and it sounds like a hard line, that if it's at the point where the man wants to put the ring on your finger, or you want to put on, that you realize that, I'm entering into hell. Take the mic and say, no. You know that part where I say, do you take? No, I do not. Men and brethren, if you have to dobale to your parents, but this was a mistake. Feel free to enjoy the food and the drinks. But for me, no, this is a mistake. I'm so sorry I'm putting you through all of this.
Phoebe, I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but I'm saying that it's not that easy, especially for people that are...
You said your truth, and I respect that.
No, that's what I'm saying. That even to be fair on people that...
No, but I've seen 1, 2, 3 people that have gone ahead to do that.
Yes, of course. That's what I'm saying. That.
So I'm saying that in the strictest sense of the word, you should be able to do that.
That's the right thing to do.
That's the right thing to do. It's not easy.
Right
we don't play down, or we're not desensitized to that.
Even the society, we
need to deal with society. Because in the beginning it was you and God. No society.
Because when it goes viral and everything, what can, especially when you are someone that you keep to yourself and everything.
Okay, would you?
PB.
Hold on, no. Would you be scared of virality now
I
or virality
know.
later when the thing scatters? The
Actually,
answer
I know it to be sincere.
is either you
It's
face your
wrong.
virality now or you face it
Yes.
later.
Yes. Well, it is
It is
well.
what it is, guys. Whatever you don't deal now, you sweep under. It's coming and as a monster in the future to face you. So walk away. A broken engagement or a broken wedding
Yes.
service is
It's
better. All right.
better
So
than
let's move forward. So this chapter of my life was not the fairy tale I had imagined, but it was the beginning of a journey that would shape me into the woman I am today. It's a lesson. It was a lesson in resilience, in finding light in the midst of darkness, and in holding on to hope even when everything around me seemed to be falling apart. It was not until much later, guys, listen to this. It was not until much later years that I realized that the truth, as in the major thing that caused the separation and all of that, or was a strong hold then, was he was unable to perform sexually. Nevertheless, at that time, I was too naive and hopeful to see this. I was too busy trying to hold on to a dream that had slipped through my finger. Right. I want you to know that, for those of you who don't know, non-consummation of a marriage within a certain period of time for a newly married couple is grounds for divorce if you went through the legal marriage, you went through a court wedding. Secondly, non-consummation is grounds for divorce. And then secondly, when you get married to somebody under false pretext, under the law, is grounds for divorce. I need you to understand that because, as far as I'm concerned, this with all the CV, and so I struggled with integrity. You know, you gave him such fantastic qualities. Why did he cover this? And I tried to make a case for him as well. Was he also scared that, how will she feel? Will she know? I put it to you that if there are any secrets, please share with the person. Let it be their decision to say, we're going to rough this together. Oh, erectile dysfunction, you can't perform. We'll work it together. Let it be their decision. Not that you decided for them. That is not integrity. That is not nice. But I'm not going to dwell on that. Here's where I'm going with this. I just, needed people to, because we're going to touch on it later. All through all of this, you touched on something that I think I want every woman to listen to, whether you are married or you're not married. Please listen to this. Amidst all the disappointment, there was one bright spot, my new job. Just a few days before the wedding, I had been offered the position of a personal assistant to a managing director of a multinational firm. Big deal. Big deal. Well done. It was my dream job, and it came with a salary that gave me a sense of independence and hope. In the days following the wedding, I threw myself into work, using it as a distraction from the growing doubts and fears about my marriage. The job became my sanctuary, a place where I could feel valued and accomplished. Take note of valued and accomplished. A place where I could feel valued and accomplished, even as my personal life felt increasingly uncertain. Every morning, I would dress in my sharpest suits, my heels clicking confidently against the marble floors of the office. For the first time in weeks, I felt in control of my own life. Come on. I read it and I pictured it in a multinational cohesive man. Right, but here's where I'm going. I want you to speak to the importance of being financially empowered as a woman. Because what I see as a coach is that a lot of women, even when they know, I go die here or I go die here, they stay for this reason. They are not financially empowered enough to stand on their own, much less take care of the children. But in our own case, when everything, the first day of the marriage, she found out, this guy cannot perform. She did not even know that was the issues at then, but he just didn't, wedding night now, he didn't do anything. I kept on giving excuses, right? And after a while, all of that was going on. For clarity's sake, in the whole of the 8 years, this marriage was still not consummated. Amazing. Amazing not in a positive way. Amazing for lack of a better word to say, right? But one of the things that kept this lady sane in the years I was there was the joy of having something that made her feel empowered. And I want you to speak to that. Okay. I don't think there's any reason why a woman should get into marriage without any form of financial empowerment.
Yes.
And even if you made that mistake, seek, not just so that you feel empowered and in control, so that you can also contribute. Miriwa, how did that make you feel? I think you can speak more than I can.
I'll say first, because recently, when I speak to single ladies, the first thing is I want to get married to a rich man so that I can take care of my finances. Can do it's fantastic, but you yourself, there's something I used to say, and many of them get angry with me. when I say
Let's
it.
have it.
And the reason is they wonder if I'm really a woman like them. And this is what I say. I ask them that, are you financially stable yourself? I want someone that has money. Do you have money? Because you have to look at that. The thing is, anything can happen. If you are not someone that is even, I will even speak to those that are married. If you are not someone that supports your husband
What do you want to have a
financially,
say in the
then
marriage?
you won't even know how to navigate some things on
Negotiate
your
some
own.
things, yeah.
Yes, it's good that, because the next thing you start hearing is the man is the provider of the home, this, but you should be empowered yourself. You should be able to, you shouldn't be that kind of woman that has to wait for a man to come before you want to. Your child needs money and, oh, let's wait for your daddy. No, you should be able to also drop something. So no matter how, it should not even be small. Why are you making yours? Why are you making your own
Why can't a
income
man to
small?
marry you as a rich woman?
Why? Because when you hear it, say, me, I'm trying now. At least I'm doing something. No, you should also do something. You should have income, as in income that is also contributing to the home.
Okay, so there you have it. Eye joye ìyàwó ọ̀gá. Ìyàwó ọ̀gá, have your own money and all this nonsense about I must marry rich man. It's okay. I mean, nothing bad with that. But also aim that you be that rich woman that a man can also benefit from you. Marriage is about mutually. It should be mutually beneficial. All this nonsense of I came to be taken care of. The man too came to be taken care of. Let's stop the complete BS. All right, so let's leave that. I'm on page 25. I struggled to reconcile the man I married with the one who now seems so distant and dismissive. That's after the marriage, she discovered that. Read the book, he refused to go for tests. Anytime she brings it up, it's his war. He tried to hide it. Bear in mind, she did not know when she was in marriage that was the issue, that he wasn't able to perform, right? So the accident, left me. She had an accident that left her, physically scarred, but the emotional wounds ran even deeper. I felt trapped in a circle of guilt and self-doubt, wondering if I'd made a mistake in marrying him. My sister, you're still wondering at this point. I just felt like using Koboko. What are you wondering? The thing that you discover from the day of the wedding, you're still wondering. All right. In making him if I'd made a mistake in marrying him, the promises we made to each other of partnership, of unconditional love, felt like a distant memory. Okay. However, in the darkest moment, a small part of me refused to give up. I began to realize that my worth was not defined by my ex's action or his inability to confront his own fears. Neither was I defined by my physical limitations or the scares I carried. My worth was inherent, rooted in my resilience, my courage, and my ability to keep moving forward despite the odds. Now, when you talk to singles about how your self-worth or how a bad marriage can really affect your self-worth and your emotion, how it can destabilize you, because there are women in mental homes on account of bad marriages. Why should I land in Aro or Yaba left because I got married? But there are women there lying in all those words because, marriage became unbearable and their bandwidth mentally broke and snapped. Please tell us. You walked through that part.
So the thing is, okay.
Say just what you're comfortable saying.
All right. So being in a marriage that's, you are, you feel, the truth is, I'll still say it till now, even though, like you said that I'm wondering if I made a mistake.
I get you still
But,
from time to time. No, that's me just using
Yes.
my mental egg on you.
But truly, I felt that there are some things that you could work together.
If the other party
If the other party is willing. We've heard of ladies also that are barren and the problems are theirs, and the husband stays with her. So it's not like it's a bad thing to stay, but when there is now emotional blackmail, when there is now the other person not helping out, as in trying to make it work, because there were suggestions, as in a lot of efforts were made, but everything started looking like I was the only one.
Being too pushy
Yes,
about
that
it.
I was the only one that was just being, like you said, being pushy. And it didn't come like that from the other party. The other party didn't feel that there was a need
Okay.
for us to make the marriage work.
Okay, so go and get the book. Go and get the book, because a lot of what she said is piled up there and we can't go there, right? But suffice to say, I need you to know she made efforts to see what is the issue. Why can't you get a raise? Get a raise. I hope you know what a raise is. Why can't you get a raise? Why can't we get this thing working? She tried to. He will call her bluff, and when they went, there was a time that they even got the result, and he refused to show you the result. And my hand went bang, bang, bang. I will still take it back to childhood. Why would I be married to a husband? There's something that is disturbing us. We went for a test, the result came out, and you hid it from me, and then I will let it slide. Ain't nobody letting nothing slide. We're gonna talk it out, But I still feel that thing of, all of that. Let's leave that. Now, there was in a final effort to save our marriage, I convinced my ex to see few specialists. I hope that professional guidance might help us uncover the root of our issues and find a way forward. However, every visit ended in disappointment. My ex would often deflect, telling the doctors and me that he has no problem with erections when he saw other beautiful women. I just don't feel sexually attracted to you, he would say, his words cutting deeper than any knife. It was painful admission, one that left me questioning my worth and desirability. Now I want to talk about something my fellow clergy people might not forgive me, but I don't send all of you at this point because I came here to do a work, right? And I want Moira to also respond to that. It's not so popular opinion, but please, you can't be going out, whether you are born again or not, with somebody that you're not sexually attracted to. Please quote me rightly. What people quote me rightly. What I mean by that is there's a way a guy loves you. If you got there for 1 year, you will see some arousal around him sometimes. Because when we tell singles, you cannot test drive. Truth is, now look at this particular case. He wasn't able to. How will she know? So sometimes you need to be on the, if a guy truly, truly likes you and is emotionally vested in you, sometimes you see a bit of misbehavior around him.
Yes.
Even those of us that are believers. So it is you that will not like, no, we're not doing this thing, no. Right? Take, for example, I and my husband were pastors from school. I've seen my husband get really, really, sexually or, aroused around me. And we just be like, but take a bath, sir. You understand? And even Pastor Taiwo, so this is not a secret talk. It's something he's shared, on open platforms. So I can talk about it. There was a day his then fiancé came to his aunt. It was obvious that pastor was in the mood for, and she picked it and simply just said, guy, I want to go and buy something. And that was the end. By the time she had reached the house, called him. The whole thing those things show you that it is working. It's one of the ways you can know that this is not the set for that talk, but I just needed us to address the fact that he's saying he wasn't sexually attracted, but really that really wasn't the truth because nothing was even working at that point. So what do you say to that?
So another thing I'll say,
like you were saying that the church doesn't help.
I think the church does not help
How?
at all.
Part of the church. Let us know.
Yes, sorry, you are not helping
Tell us. Let us know.
And the reason is because you don't. Yes, it's good. Nobody is saying that you should go into moral sexual sexual immorality, but the thing is, we need to talk about this. We don't talk about sex enough for the singles.
Pastors, I know people come on this stream, so
we don't talk about sex
let's
enough
do the work.
because the only thing we just say is, okay, you people should not meet in closed doors. You people should meet in church.
What else do you want us to be saying? Please tell me.
No, because if we meet only in church, PB, or we meet in your house, in your our pastor. No, in our pastors. You hear some pastors tell you that you meet in pastors' houses so that sin does not.
So what do you think? What
so
angle do you
please,
think we should come from?
No, I'm going to now ask you that. How do you expect us? How do you really expect us to know, to see all those signs if we are not even going to meet on our own?
I get you. Let me play the devil's advocate, and I think I've spoken about one of it. Is to also teach singles and those in a relationship. Number one, you keeping yourself till marriage is first honor to God. You're not doing nobody a favor. It's first honor to God and honor to your own body. So do you love God and respect him enough? That's one reason. Two, now based on what happened to you, how will I know if the guy can do or he cannot do? I also believe strongly that that's where your relationship with God, comes in, right? Because I'm not an island of knowledge. I wish I had other, coaches on set, but I'll just speak the 1, 2, 3. see, God reveals things to you, right? It could be a slip of the tongue. And then this number 3, which is where most of us pastors would not want to go. But I think at this point, because these are real issues, this is a real person. If you are dating a guy and in 1 year, you can't see any, arousal or anything. And when a guy is aroused, one of the places you will have a raise. Much as he tries to put it together. And that's why some people are against, how can you say hugging? Hugging is not a sin. Right? Hugging is not a sin. Sometimes you hug a man for God's sake. If he's one that is attracted to you, you feel some. The penis is not he likes to misbehave. If he's feeling anything, he will tell you I'm feeling something. If he's not feeling, are we encouraging? No, but I'm just telling. Your whole senses have to be alert, looking out for signs and symbols, and then trusting God. God reveals things to people. This scripture, is it 1 Corinthians? I can't remember, but it says, no man knows the things of another man, save the spirit of that man that is in him. And the spirit searches all things. Yeah, the deep things of God. Even the thing of a person not, it would let you know. It could be a family member that might even sleep. Good look. Guys, walk with God. And 2 years, please relate to a point where you watch out. Does this guy sexually attract you? Don't need to sleep with him for you to know if he's sexually attracted to you or not. All right? Even believers are in a relationship and sometimes they want to meet and they hold themselves on discipline. Do you think that helps in any way?
It does. It does.
All right. So let's run through the remaining turn. I had an issue with the secrecy thing and the fact that you didn't challenge it. We're trying to look for why this is not happening. You went to get, apparently that test must have shown what the issue is. Do you understand?
It's possible.
And you mean you were in the same house? Didn't you try and ask him, what about the results? What were you scared of?
So when I ask, it's the thing is, like you said, I'm not that kind
You're
of
not wired.
outspoken person like that. And I will I call it. I think for now, I know now that it's fear. But then I used to see myself as maybe I was naive or shy. But it was always more of fear of, won't I get this person angry?
Was he violent?
No.
Is he the kind of person that would beat you if you provoke
No,
him?
it was never. No, it never. It never.
Okay,
beat
let
me.
me tell you for free as a coach.
Never.
Some of these things are still trauma from childhood. The kind of father that raised her, that shaped her, she wasn't used to negotiating, Be that parent that yet at some certain age is no negotiation. But when you begin to get your children teenage, sometimes it's negotiation. Not because you're laying down the rod of your authority, like, okay, this is it. You do this, allow them to be able to speak to you sometimes so that you can guide and you can direct. I personally feel drilling down through the issues. I've read this book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 times, in trying to find out exactly what God would want me to bring out from this book. And I found out that it's just to help singles not to make some of these mistakes. Please, ladies, I want to say something to you. On the side of pre-marriage, you have the power of negotiation. You can negotiate things. And learn to start doing it from that time. So when you get married, it's not confrontation. Learn to ask, sweetheart, this one, why would you bring it? Let's talk about it. No, what is it, Gongo, that you don't want me to know? I wanted to ask, were you both Christians? Yeah, Christians.
Yes.
So couldn't you have escalated this to the pastor? Or you were trying to protect him?
Yes.
Fantastic. That's it. You were trying to protect him. At your own expense. It's still the way you were raised.
So yes, then another thing is, another, okay, like this background that you have where your mom is someone that tells you that you have to, your husband, you have to keep, as in, you have to protect your husband, protect whatever you people are going through in your house and not bring it out. So, those were some of the things that I always think about.
And I'm not saying she wasn't wrong, but this is a different ballgame entirely. This was a marriage founded on deceit and lies. The foundation was deceit and lies. So this was not, as far as I'm concerned, is an exception to the rule. I felt you would have escalated that to your pastors.
Yes.
Two things will have happened. It could have led to the end of the marriage. But when the Marco did not kuss, the Marco still kuss. So you said something, be true to yourself. And that's where values are aligned. Your husband shouldn't have an issue with, let's share this thing. It's naked and not ashamed is the goal in marriage. So there was too much room for secrecy. And I think you also enabled it because of where you were coming from. So, as individuals, parents, we have a lot of roles to play in how our children turn out. Let's talk about your suicide attempt. You carry knife By yourself, with yourself, for
I
yourself.
still want that till now, and
I want to go
I
a lot
just
better
thank God.
because of man. I know I need to read this one for you people. The loneliness became unbearable, and I'm not beating down Mariwa in any way. I'm just trying to make this lighter. May you not go through a marriage that will push you to take your own life. The loneliness became unbearable. I felt this marriage to be how do I say, to be accurate, lasted 8 years.
7.
7 in all 7 years, nothing was going on. No popoji, no, what do people call it now? What are those names you people use? No shagging, no, that's not. There's one people use. I remember. None of it was going on. Asal. The loneliness became unbearable. I felt like a prisoner in my own life, trapped in a marriage that offered no love, no intimacy, no future. Kai. The emotional toll was immense, and it began to consume me. One night, somebody say one night. Overwhelmed by despair, I reached my breaking point. I wrote a suicide note. You will tell me what you wrote in that suicide note after this time out. Pouring out my pain and hopelessness onto the page. With a knife in my hand, I prepared to end it all. What was going on in your mind? And were you really going to do it?
Yes.
As no more
So
Bedani.
now I understand more, PB.
Talk to me.
Those people that commit
suicide.
suicide is a demonic force.
Try.
Because
tell
at that
tell them.
no, it's a demonic force. Anytime I hear it, I tell people that don't judge this person. At that point in time, you are not thinking. You are not thinking at all. I wasn't thinking. I was just ready that let me just end this. It was after everything, after the call and everything, that I started asking myself that what were you, as in, why would you even have
Okay,
thought about
I won't delve
this?
into that, but I want to tell you how deep getting married to your, how do I say, to your enemy in quote, or getting up in a bad marriage, how bad it can run. You can run mentally insane. This person nearly took her life, and guess what? The guy will still be alive. He's probably doing fine, remarried. But you will have lost your life on account of a bad marriage. Now, this is the miracle, and we're going to delve into that because I want to bring an angle of hope as we round up this podcast. Nevertheless, in the darkest moment, guys, listen to this, very powerful. God's grace intervened. Just as I was about to act, my phone rang. It was the president of my Christian fellowship from my polytechnic days. He said, God told me to call you. He said he wants me to know that he's with you. My God. There's no shadow you light up, mountain you coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, reckless love of God. Kai. God told me to tell you. He said he wants you to know that he's with you and he's not done with you yet. Don't give up. His words were a lifeline, pulling me back from the edge. I broke down in tears, realizing that even in my deepest despair, I was not alone. I held on to the words of Psalm 23 verse 4. Even though I walk through the valley, through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff. That moment marked a turning point for me. It was as if God's mercy reached down. 3 things I want to pick out. Even if
Sorry, before you pick out, let me even make you. There was something. It was years after when I spoke to, because after that we never spoke.
As in the person
again.
that called you.
So when I spoke to him and I told him about this, that was after the divorce. He said he cannot even remember that he called me and he told me this.
You know, and that's what I wanted to point out. Outside of marriage, please, can we learn to be promptly obedient? I imagine that guy did not act promptly. Murewa, can you confirm to us that you will have done it?
I would.
My God.
I would.
My God. My God. See, believers, your life is not just all about you. When God says do something, reach out to somebody, please go. I imagine that guy did not call at that time. She just confirmed to us that she would have killed herself. Right? And secondly, that no matter what valley you are in, God sees you. He's Elroy, the God who sees you, you know, in your lowly estate. You see, I was thinking we're going to do 1 hour. We have done more than 2 hours because these are not issues that can be skimmed through. I'm fine with that. I'll probably break it into segments. So I want us to end this on a note of hope. That is not just all, because that was God intersecting everything. That you, this girl, is not your time. What are you? If it was your time, now sure you'll be here to be telling a story and inspiring thousands of singles, you know, from making this mistake. I want you to speak about hope. How, you know, how you felt.
Okay. So one thing I say every time is that I don't know the kind of love God has for me is different from every other person. I'm sorry to say it. I used to say that it seems I'm the next after Jesus. And the reason is because there are a lot of ways. As I don't deserve the kind of love that I have gotten from God. I don't deserve it. If I look at my life, as in from the beginning till now. But he just keeps showing up for me, even when I mess up. I mess up a lot, and it keeps showing up. So there is hope. There is nothing. Whatever you think you have done, and you feel no, that is the end. Sometimes you just feel that I've done this, and because of that, God doesn't love me again. It's a lie. God loves everyone. The only thing is just believe in him, trust him, hope in him. There is still hope for everyone. There is still hope for you right there. Whatever you are going through, there is still that hope, and stay strong with that. Stay glued to that hope, and just accept his love, because he is there to love you. But if you don't accept the love,
So
then
don't
it's
feel
from
too
you.
condemned to accept the love
No,
of God.
don't.
I read that part. All these parts I'm reading out, they are all in red. They are all in blue Bible. I circled them, and I made a mental note. I'm going to ask Muriwa that, come, if that guy did not go, sure you go kill yourself, chuchu. And she said she would have done it. On top waiting marriage, I tell you, marriage can be the reason some people go to hellfire.
Yes.
It can be the reason some people die untimely death. So you really want to not joke with this thing called marriage. It's not something you can get into lightly. Do you understand? It's important, but again, I would say it's not the most important thing in life. Finding purpose is the most important thing in life. After receiving the giving your life to Christ, or receiving the life of Christ, the next important decision to make is the choice of whom to get married to. Get it wrong, and it could derail you from purpose. Get it right, it could empower you to achieve purpose. Now, let's talk about your daughter. Away from your ex, you had a child, right? For me, I read in between the line. That gave you hope that, I really wasn't the problem after all.
Exactly.
And then it was at that point you now got word of the fact that, this guy had this issue. Not that there was anything wrong with me, because in-laws made you feel at some point that you had spirit husband. What did the coming of a daughter into your life, having had a not so fantastic marriage to your ex, what did that mean for you?
So the first thing I learned having my daughter was it's always good to listen to God and obey him. Because I remembered when all the issues started and I left the marriage, I remembered that there were a lot of people talking, and there were a lot of people forming narratives about me. So I really wanted to speak, but this one, at least my relationship with God had grown. So I knew God told me to hold on and not say anything. So all I kept telling everyone was, just be praying for us, just be praying for us. And a lot of people formed their own opinions about me and everything. But when I got pregnant and I had my child, many of them came back and they were apologizing to me.
What people?
Telling me that they were sorry, that they misjudged and everything like that. So, and most of these people were even the faith-based people, as in church members and everything.
That's not good, yeah.
So it's made me, it's assured me that it was right to listen to God and obey
not
God.
Defend yourself.
Yes.
Because he actually defended you with
and
that.
It also gave me that, because there was a time that I started thinking of it, that maybe I could also be the problem.
I have issues.
Maybe I had issues. That what if I had? So it was. I think that was also part of the reasons why I didn't leave. That okay, what if I even leave and I even had issues? I ran the test. Yes, but I also heard that the other side also was okay.
Okay.
So
let's leave that. Being a single mom, how's the journey been with your daughter? Briefly.
So it's not as easy as people feel it is, but with God, things can go well. Yes, you still have to answer questions. You still have to, especially you are raising another being, and at the same time you are still pursuing your own dreams, because you cannot lack in the two. You need to raise her well, and you also not need to leave yourself behind at that point. So at those two, so I think people should be fair on single moms, because there are a lot of people that you make single moms feel feel unwanted, but these people are going through a lot. They are really doing a lot.
Okay. So one last question. This man, are you looking at remarriage?
Yes, I am. I am.
I
But
am.
with
With your
my two eyes very open, my inner ears. This time
oh
around,
shit.
I know how Jesus God speaks, and let's just
Okay, wow. It's been an amazing 1.5 hours. I'm very sure we've done at least 1.5 hours on this
yes.
podcast. And if you're a single person, you bought my books. By the way, the first place to start before listening to this podcast is to go and get this book. Read it. No excuse is good enough. Details I couldn't go into, and even without you can see how long it was. Get my 2 new books, Single and Equipped, then Code Red, Code Green. Those 2 books encapsulate all of what we've just done, and that's I did in commemoration of my birthday this year, because I mean I'm really big on us not keep raising singles that will get into marriage on the wrong footing, keep talking about failed marriages, bad marriages, because they're also good marriages. But it all starts from this foundation. And so I want to thank you, Mira, for saying yes to the Spirit of God, because I know when I reached out to you, you confirmed it wasn't just because I wanted to do this.
Yes.
And I can tell you, I read this book like 10 times. No, I'm not joking. The first time I read it, I was like, fine. I knew. It was Pastor T, like, meet Morewa. I'm sure you guys will have something to do. Pastor always speaks prophetically.
Yes.
He's just talking normal day talk, but that was prophetic. At the time he said it, honestly, nothing prophetic was dropping my head. Then Pastor Owolabi,
Owolabi,
yes, but Pastor Bisi, you're going to like this book. I'm like, okay. And because it wasn't long, I read it. I was like, wow. But it didn't register. I went again 2-3 times. Like, God, there's something about this book. What do you want me to do about it? And I'm glad we're here today to do all of this for you, single. And I believe some married people and even parents got a lot from this podcast. And I just want to pray for you, Mora, that even as your heart desires, God is bringing you to your own person in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
That this time around, he will lead you by himself.
Amen.
You are yet coming back on another podcast years later to talk about how it feels, getting it right, and the bliss of walking, in a fulfilling marriage. That's my prophecy concerning you in the name of Jesus. I just want to pray for everyone also listening. Probably you have already made that mistake, you're a single mom, or you are in the situation that our dear guest pastor. I want to pray for you. And the reason I dragged from beginning of that book to the end is for you to see that, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Just look at God's divine intervention. I want to pray God's peace over you in the name of Jesus. I want to pray that God will show you his love, that you will experience the pure liquid love of God, even in that situation, in the name of Jesus. He will grant you the grace to raise up that child, to take care of yourself in the name of Jesus. I pray for you that you will feel God's love. You will feel his acceptance. You feel his direction. And for as many of you desire to find love again, I pray for you that this time around you will get it right. In the name of Jesus. For every single person watching this podcast, my prayer for you is that you will marry once. And you will marry right. In the name of Jesus. God bless you all. It's been a wonderful time on this set. If this has blessed you, single, married, please could you share this to your contacts, single, married, share it to everybody and have a singles, if you have a group of friends, sit down with this and unpack it yourself, relate it to what you're going. You can have Bible study, or you can do getaways with this podcast alone, especially for those of you that are single. So get Murewa's book. It's called No Excuse is Good Enough. My book is launching on Saturday. It's called Single and Equipped, Code Red, Code Green. A combination of these 3 books and this podcast. If you miss it, Village People is on your case. I'm that confident about it. So God bless you all. Follow me on my social media handles on Instagram, and I'm Olabisi_Folarin. On Facebook, I'm Folarin Olabisi. On YouTube here, I'm Olabisi Folarin. And this podcast was brought to you by the ministry I run, Vessels of Stature International Ministry. So they are your sponsors. They are the ones bringing this podcast to you. So follow us on YouTube on Vessels of Stature International, and on Instagram, Vessels_of_stature. That's the handle. Follow all these handles and keep abreast. More of this kind of podcast coming your way after this particular one. God bless you. See you. Bye. Murewa, any last word?
God bless you. Bye.
Bye.